Hello, everybody. Welcome to WD Carousel of Podcast. My name's Crystal.
And I'm Ian.
And I got distracted by the shiny thing. Don't mind me.
We'll get back to that.
We are going to get back to that because I'm going to be drinking out of this.
Well, there's that.
Anyways, today we are celebrating Pride!
Woo!
Yay! June is official Pride Month.
Yes.
And locations all around the country and the world are going to be celebrating the LGBTQIA plus community.
Yes.
And I do happen to fall in that spectrum. I am a proud bisexual.
Yay.
And so, yay, we're celebrating Pride Day.
Woo!
And we thought that we would talk a little bit about not just something that is starting up in one of the parks, but a little bit about how Disney has inspired the culture as well as the culture has been inspired by it.
Yes.
So...
yeah. So I guess we'll start with some kind of current events.
yeah, we can do that.
Yeah. So the parks have had Pride-related things happening in them for quite a while.
Many unofficial gatherings that have been going on called Gay Days.
Classic.
There have been Gay Days in the Anaheim Park. There had been Gay Days down in the Orlando Park. I'm not sure about around the rest of the world, though. But it is something where it's a whole weekend. If you want to go, it's kind of like Dapper Days or any of the other events that they do. It is an unofficial day. They used to actually do it as an official day in the parks about 20 years ago.
That's crazy that it was there 20 years ago and then wasn't there.
I don't know why, but it's still going on. It's still an unofficial Gay Days. I believe that in the Disney World parks, it's in August. Don't know the specific dates. And then in Disneyland, it's October.
Yes, I think that's what I had heard as well.
So if you happen to be in the area, and you can celebrate Gay Days!
Woo!
Yay!
So Disney doesn't really they're like, don't do it, but they're also like, this isn't us, you guys do your thing. But that has changed officially at Disneyland Paris, where they just, this year. Yeah, it was the beginning of this month, they did June 1st. Okay, they had their official Pride Day where they had was it just Pride Day or?
It was the Magical Diversity Parade.
Oh, heavens to Murgatroyd.
Magical Pride Diversity Parade. Something long like that. But yeah, they had a whole Pride Parade.
Yeah. And when it was sanctioned, and so they had, all sorts of characters come out. They had Minnie and Mickey as those token allies.
Yeah.
Job, guys.
The official straight
couple. Love that.
Pride Parade.
Love that.
But you can't really say no to Minnie and Mickey.
Yeah, no, of course. They're just we're gonna support you. So they did. They had a really cool limousine, and they brought out there was just lots of dancing, and
they had balloons all over the place. They had a lot of cast members that were dancing. They totally gayed up a song.
Oh yeah, that was hilarious.
It's
This Is Love?
Oh yes, This Is Love.
Yeah.
They totally,
but it was it had a 90s C+C Music Factory beat going on. It was hilarious.
It was awesome. And they played that during the whole run, as well as they had some queens out there on some cars, and they even had Boy George.
They did. They had Boy George. Yeah.
So, and there were probably other famous people from Europe.
Who's a famous gay icon that would be available on a Tuesday afternoon? Boy George there? Yeah, I'll be there. Yeah, I'll be there. And he just shows up and does his thing.
Well, and there might have been other famous people too in the Euro circle.
Yes.
But us being uncultured Americans probably did not recognize.
Midwesterners even. We were just we're like, hey, Boy George, we know who that is.
I recognize those big hats.
Exactly. See those anywhere.
But they got to celebrate Pride in the parks, which I think is an amazing step forward. I can't wait until they bring it to other parks as well.
Especially Disney World, just off the top of my head. That's,
or Disneyland, in California.
That's fine.
Right where
everything started.
The biggest festivals are and stuff.
It
might be nice to have
something,
just a little...
something, West Hollywood, something. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So that's kind of just a quick... So we came into this episode being like, let's talk about some, like, how that all works. And then we were like, wait a second, this isn't a very long episode. So we decided that we wanted to do
delve a little bit
deeper into, like, Disney media and, like, kind of find some stuff that's kind of considered to be, like, either, like, was kind of intended to be kind of LGBT or gay, or people have just kind of interpreted it that way, one way or the other. So now, we kind of, yeah.
And granted, most Disney things nowadays
have been kind of,
are going to pretty much be part of the world, part of that world.
Stop.
Because, you know, it's entertainment business first and foremost.
Right.
And as almost everybody knows, stereotypically, there are a lot of the LGBTQIA plus people in entertainment, whether it be in front of the camera, behind the camera,
whatever.
Many different factors.
Right.
As well as, you know, this is something that we get to fall in love with all over again, embrace our childhood innocence again, and catchy songs and big flashy scenarios. So
the whole thing.
We thought first we were going to go over some of the more token gay songs,
yeah, that stuff that either we kind of called around and checked online and just discussed amongst ourselves about songs that we thought would be especially poignant or especially seem like they were kind of leaning out to that community.
And it's not just gay, it's, you know, lots of different factors, because I mean, to be completely honest, almost every Disney movie you can find some character or some song or some storyline that really tells about finding who you are and growing into who you want to be. And that's a lot of the, you know, strength behind Pride and the LGBTQIA plus community to acknowledge who we are and walk that life without being afraid or hiding or anything like that.
Absolutely.
So one of the first songs that came to mind when we were talking about this is a favorite song of ours. It's Shiny.
Shiny. Yeah.
And that would be one that is like so obviously
it's such a fun song to it just there's kind of on multiple because it's very Bowie-esque.
Yes.
And I think that he's such that androgynous icon that it just makes in that kind of over the top flamboyant kind of thing.
I was almost
really
feeling
works.
Slightly more Elton.
Elton too? Oh,
because, you know, the shiny and sparkle a sunken pirate wreck.
I know I know that Jermaine Clement had cited Bowie as his like vocal influence.
Okay.
But I think from like the song's like perspective, like the song itself, I think you're right, like it's more of maybe an Elton visual, if that makes any sense. But yeah, no, absolutely. If you combine either Elton John or David Bowie, like clearly you're deep into LGBTQ plus community world. So that's, you know.
Another one is Reflections from Mulan. That one's a pretty heartfelt one where you can definitely see someone battling with who they are versus who they want to be. And
that's a whole other story in androgyny too. Not in the song necessarily. Wait, she's already Ping when she's doing that song, right?
No, that's Mulan. Asking basically why she can't.
Yes, I should probably watch that movie again. It's been about a year.
You should watch a lot of movies again.
I know. Well, actually, I probably shouldn't watch this one first because I have a couple others I need to get to before I go back to Mulan again. But anyway,
Let It Go is like a huge anthem.
The anthem right now.
For coming out right now and just sloughing things off.
Yeah.
The one that I would say come semi before this, but along those same lines wouldn't it be like Part of Your World or no? What would it be? It would be well, Strangers Like Me is another good one.
Strangers Like Me, yeah,
that's a lot
that's
like
good.
that. From Tarzan. So if you're familiar with it.
I like the music from Tarzan.
I know you do. I know you do.
It's fun.
Another good one would be a Man. We'd already talked about Mulan, but Mulan is just...
There's a lot of fun stuff to unpack in there.
There's another fun thing in there.
Yeah.
Go the Distance.
Classic.
I will find my way.
I can go. I auditioned to that song once.
I think you said that before.
Did I say that before?
Yeah, I think you did.
I don't know if I said it on camera or not, but...
When I was watching some show that was not a Disney show, but Pose, I got Mother Knows Best stuck in my head. So for all of those queens and those houses where they have mothers and Mother Knows Best, I was like, oh my God. So I texted my brother and I was like, I have Mother Knows Best stuck in my head. So that is going on the list.
Yes.
That is on the list.
Officially on the list. Yeah, when you talk about Strangers Like Me, Be a Man, Part of Your World. Mm-hmm. And then that was a thing. Of course, Poor Unfortunate Souls. Because it's Ursula, and I don't know, she's kind of like the queen that's...
I was going to say, let's get into the characters a little bit, too.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good segue into characters.
Because Ursula was... based off of Divine.
Yes.
Which is a rather famous drag queen.
Yeah.
And she had the big,
overdrawn,
tall eyebrows and eyeshadow, and she was
the original Edna Turnblad, right? In Hairspray?
Yep, yeah, she was. And she was the inspiration for Ursula, and a lot of the mannerisms and everything very much coincide with Divine, and therefore, I mean, you can't not equate that.
Right. It's just there's something
to a queen in the community.
There's something inherently like a queen about Ursula.
Now, granted, almost every villain could be.
I know. We
part of the spectrum.
We tried pretty hard to not just make a list of villains.
We're narrowing them down a bit.
Right, because there is something to that, and there's been. I took a philosophy of film class in college. Yeah. But there was we had a whole unit on Disney, because of course we did.
Well, you had to.
You had to.
Such big content.
Yeah, and that was definitely a thing, especially in their earlier stuff, where it was just like they threw a lot of all of the gay personifications and the mannerisms and stuff, and they throw that into the villains.
Because they could be flamboyant, and they were allowed to be
flamboyant and
bigger and bigger personalities.
Right, and so that's how they would model them. Personally, I don't believe that it was intentionally malicious or anything like that. I think it was just like they had a good actor who was probably, could do that, could play the flamboyant, and so why not? Let's do it. That makes them more fun, and that's what makes a villain more fun, a Disney villain specifically more fun.
Going back to our review of Aladdin.
I was just about to say that. I was just about to bring that up.
There's a big difference between the live action
Jafar
and the animated, and it was primarily due to the flamboyance, over the top, very much, gay culture tendencies.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, no, Jafar was just like super like, look at my shoulder pads. Like, I mean, like, it's crazy. And then, the Jafar
and the
pet bird. Like, honestly, though, like, I mean, the level of accessorization is just ridiculous. So, and then you compare that.
He was going after the king's diamonds.
Exactly.
His ring.
Exactly. No, and then you cut to this Jafar that we had was probably a more realistic character, but he wasn't necessarily a realistic Disney villain. He wasn't really like the right...
He didn't fit the mold.
Exactly. So, so that's actually one we just checked off there is Jafar is one of he's on our list toward the end. Yes.
We don't have these in any specific order.
Yeah.
Another good villain that we brought up was Hades.
Yes. Which I initially didn't think about as being a gay icon, but yeah, I mean, kind of like his interactions with Meg are actually fairly like a sassy gay friend.
Yeah, he's the sassy gay best friend, without being the best friend part.
Right.
But he's like
frenemies.
He's a guy. Do you really trust him? Are you kidding me?
Right.
Sort of situation.
Hilariously, he's played by James Woods, but we'll just move past that. But definitely, though, it's just definitely let me get this, honey. Like, you're blah, blah, blah. Like, he definitely plays into that, like, I don't know if you've ever seen the Second City bit, The Sassy Gay Friend. It's that, where it's all, they would insert, like, all these characters in Shakespearean literature, wouldn't have died if they would have had a sassy gay friend, and that's basically what Hades is.
Yeah. Now let's get to some non-villainous characters.
Yes.
These ones, some of them are a little bit more obvious than others. So the first one we're going to start off with is the genie.
The genie, yeah.
Because the genie, you know, he was flamboyant as well, not in an evil way.
Nope.
But he also liked to cross-dress.
I mean, he had no problem with that.
Constantly dressing up as different characters and...
Yeah, I mean, and if you think about... In what we're calling standard perception of Aladdin, it's Robin Williams, who plays gay very well.
Very well.
And multiple times in multiple different things, and he has a flamboyant personality to begin with, and so it works. The genie is just very, yes, of course, you know, like that. It's nice because you have an over-the-top flamboyant character who is not a villain, which is always nice to see. Thank you, Disney.
One that is in my ringer there, the bisexual, pansexual area would be Shang.
Oh, Shang.
And this was one where it was kind of a subtle thing.
Yeah.
Because most of the parents didn't make the connection that Shang actually had a crush on Pang.
Right.
But those people in the know could see it.
Right. Well, yeah, it's kind of funny because, like, obviously, like, they got it under the radar because you knew that it was Mulan the whole time. Like, that's how Disney kind of slipped it into the canon, like, made it all work.
But Shang was totally happy with both
like,
of them.
he was just kind of like, damn. Like, and, like, if you're not reading into it, it's just
like... Oh, you knocked me down. Oh, my jaw hurts. Good for you. I see that wink in your eye.
Buddy, okay. Yeah, anyway, so, you know... That's a thing.
And
absolutely.
I'm still waiting to see if in the remake, if they do keep his bisexual, pansexual
vibe
there, because that's an important representation. I mean, I will say, when it comes to the LGBTQIA+ community, there are gays, and then there are lesbians, and then there are bisexuals. You don't...
And then you get asexuals and bands. I'm sorry. Anyway,
there's just
it gets smaller and smaller. Yeah.
And so he is an important representation to our community. It's not just the gays and not just the flamboyant gays either. It's the you know, we want to have a diverse showing and representation, and Shang is one of those. He is
definitely one of the more interesting representations of an LGBTQ plus character, which you don't see as often in a Disney show.
So then the question becomes, we put Prince Eric on the list from The Little Mermaid.
Now, was this a...
Was this a gay or was this an asexual? That's where you get the question.
Or he's just like me and I'm totally oblivious. So there's like...
The reason we put him on the list was because... Really, it took him a long time to kiss the girl.
Yeah.
And then for him to fall in love, he had to be... Hypnotized.
Well... So... Okay, yeah. I mean, he's, you know, maybe he's just a little curious, or he just is, you know, he's not sure. Yeah, okay, asexual. We'll go with asexual. I kind of like that one.
Yeah, I like that one better.
Makes it more interesting
than feeling gay and then marrying Ariel.
It's really depressing.
Yeah, because then that's like closet uncomfortable. This is not the 1950s. You don't have to hide your sexuality.
Right. Technically, it was like the 1750s, but that's okay. Sorry. It's okay.
Stop getting sexual on me.
You know what? another like obvious one once I heard it was Turk.
Again, from one of your favorite movies, Tarzan.
I do like Tarzan. Turk is interesting because it's a lesbian character.
Yes.
Which is but not
again, this is kind of the only representation that we have for a lesbian,
like a classic lesbian character, not like Ursula, who's like a queen, but almost like in like a drag queen sort of way. This is like an actual like lesbian character, which is interesting. I mean,
you never looked up Ursula's tentacles. You don't know what's under there.
Heavens to Murgatroyd. Okay.
So Turk. Going back to Turk.
Back to Turk.
Turkina, I think, is the full
name. Love that. I mean, on a very like kind of on the nose way, I mean, it's Rosie O'Donnell, so that's, I mean, that kind of, you could just assume, but you wouldn't necessarily need to assume, like, Neil Patrick Harris was Barney Stinson, like, you know, you don't necessarily assume that, but it definitely, that's how the character was played.
Portrayed, and drawn.
Yeah.
And definitely being one of the only obvious females and showing no interest in male, attraction whatsoever. It lends to. Now, on contrast, the only other real quote-unquote lesbian one you could talk about was Elsa a little bit.
Right.
In the Let It Go, but she is a different kind of obvious lesbian.
Yeah,
would be an obvious lesbian.
They do play her off. And the thing that also is kind of weird about it is people jump to that conclusion too because of the song and the metaphor that kind of plays along with it. And on top of that, she never has a love interest. And that's sort of like does that mean she's gay? Like, you know what I mean? Like, or does it just mean...
question mark.
Yeah, I mean, like, it'd be fine if she is. Like, definitely it would be kind of interesting.
We'll see later this year in Frozen 2 when it comes out.
Are we gonna go see that? Damn it, we are.
We have to. It's our job. Now, the other Frozen character, which honestly, I think this is the first obviously out gay character
right in Frozen
in a Disney movie was Oaken. Now Oaken was a really small bit character. He was the yoo-hoo big summer blowout, but then he's like, hello family, and it pans over to the sauna.
Right.
And in the sauna there is his family, which consists of an adult male and 4 children. And so you're like, okay, this is the first obvious gay representation in a Disney movie.
Actually implied. And that was so that was the first time I'd ever actually pointed it out. Yeah.
It wasn't just mannerisms and
right. And he wasn't even necessarily playing he was an over the top character, but he wasn't necessarily he wouldn't have been necessarily gay, just on his own,
There was air quotations for those not listening.
Sorry. Just watch it and you'll see. Pull this effort into the video, and you might as well watch my air quotes, right?
Unlike, so he wasn't a flamboyant character, but he was the first one that actually had an obvious hello family. And then there was his husband and their children.
Yeah.
So that was a really nice representation. Now getting into the Flash though.
Yeah.
Governor Ratcliffe.
Classic.
What did my brother say? He called him the Republican...
The closeted Republican gay.
Yes.
Yeah, that's kind of... Yeah. Yeah.
And, he knows how to accessorize, too, and he loves his gold.
Yeah.
He loves his gold.
He's got the knee-high stockings, and he got he's gonna be dressed for the occasion.
Coiffed hair.
I mean, he's in colonial America, and he's putting that much effort in. I mean, good Lord, man. Anyway, yeah. So
and his little assistant, his little skinny assistant, that was totally gay too. I don't even remember his name, but yeah, you could totally see that too.
I'm not gonna say what I was gonna say because I don't want to have to censor it later. So we'll move on.
One that you haven't seen,
I know. This
from
is
Lilo and
embarrassing.
Stitch. Pleakley, which, if you remember...
I had to Google.
You did.
I did.
It's the alien, the skinny alien who chases after Stitch, and he was also involved in the mini-series where there was a lot of cross-dressing. A lot of cross-dressing. It's almost to beyond Bugs Bunny level of cross-dressing. So, just to put it out there, I mean... They definitely had more of a almost transsexual vibe to them as a character, where they wanted to have, look pretty and have the female roles and that sort of thing. Maybe trans, maybe, I don't know, but it was definitely a character that was living its best life in those wigs and dresses.
Yeah, one-eyed little thing that just like to wear wigs. Yeah, what are you gonna do? Yeah,
like to be the home wife.
The home wife. God, so funny. I need to watch it now. Okay,
yes, you do.
Moving on. So we've talked about Elsa, but moving over to what's wrong?
Nothing. I was watching you.
Oh, okay, good.
Seeing how you're going to intro this next character.
This one. Oh, well, jumping over to a movie we really haven't talked about yet, which is Beauty and the Beast. And in the original movie, LeFou was kind of like he probably has like a little crush on Gaston there,
crush.
buddy. A little man crush there. And then in the live action, which I have not seen, to be perfectly fair, qualifying.
Oh my god.
He's soups gay.
Yes.
So
queen.
I mean, you know, like that's how they chose to play it, and that's I think that a lot of people were like, that tracks. Like that's fine.
Well, I did hear some pushback in regards to that, saying they took it too far, and that, you know, the straight people were like, LeFou didn't have to be gay. Why did you have to gay up LeFou? And we're all like, are you kidding?
He's like soups gay.
Why else would he be like panting over Gaston? I mean,
no, like it just makes
made no
sense.
To be straight.
Yeah, no. LeFou actually makes a lot of sense as a gay character. That's totally fine with me. I'm good with that.
And then our final one is kind of along the same lines of Governor Ratcliffe. We're talking about Ratigan.
Yeah.
Ratigan from The Great Mouse Detective. Not only is there, you know, he's considered the Moriarty to, you know, the Sherlock Holmes equation, and there's tons of fanfic between those having a relationship together, but he's also really well dressed and flashy and likes his accessories and makes sure his hair's always beautiful, and he has a pet cat that he rings a little bell for, and he always has his pinky up, and you know, those sorts of things.
Yeah.
So,
well, a little I think he probably just like is kind of got a crush on oh my god, I thought
Basil
Thank you.
of Baker Street.
Thank you. That's the
You're
one.
welcome.
Yeah, that's good. I'm good. It's fine. It's all fine. But I think there's probably something there. I'm just saying.
So keep an eye out when you watch movies or listen to Disney songs. What might have a different association to it than the straight cis
character
that you might have originally interpreted it as.
Right. And in terms of music, like, is there a song that speaks to you that, you know, in terms of showing, you know, kind of your real self, and, you know, what is I'm
basically just live your best life and embrace who you are and celebrate Pride however you decide to celebrate it.
Yep.
Those of you who are still in the closet, feel free to do so. Just know that we support you and love you. Yep. For those of you out of it, we support you and love you still.
Yes.
And we will be standing right beside you, and I will be at Minnesota Pride this weekend. Woo! And I'm so excited. So I hope you guys had a great Pride month. This has been WD Carousel of Podcast. My name's Crystal.
And I'm Ian.
And we hope you have a great, big, beautiful tomorrow. Bye, everybody.
Beautiful tomorrow, just a dream away.